Hi, and welcome to Movement Mondays. I'm Alex Weaver. Today we have a very special guest who may or may not stay for this whole class, Mr. 80 Waffles Weaver. We'll see how well he behaves. So for today's class, all you need is your yoga mat, a towel, something to lay on, whatever's comfortable on the floor, a chair or a stool that supports your body weight. So this can be a bench, this can be like a regular kitchen chair, this can be a sofa. It might be easier if it's more firm, but it doesn't really matter ultimately. Your water and yourself. So I'm gonna just make sure everything looks good with the stream, and then we'll get started with some breathing here in a second and then warm up. Also, I recently learned that I think I can view all of the comments in one place via StreamYard, the service we use. So I'm going to try, if you have questions, you can always drop a comment. I will periodically check to see if there's anything I missed, but if you need me to go back over something, whatever, feel free to drop a comment. So, all right. Oops. So if you're just joining in, welcome to Movement Mondays. I'm Alex Weaver. For today's class, all you need is your yoga mat or a towel, or really just an area of the floor that you can do exercises on. And then your water, yourself, etc. Oh, and then also a chair or a bench, something sturdy enough for you to put your body weight on, both standing and sitting. We do have a special guest today, as I said earlier, 80 Waffles Weaver, who may or may not behave for this whole class. So we'll see if he stays in here or he ends up getting kicked out of this class. Fingers crossed, he gets to stay. So, all right, so go ahead and make your way to your mat. You're gonna wanna get comfortable here. So you can either, actually, it's up to you. If you feel more comfortable laying on your back with your knees bent, you can do that. If you want to sit like I'm sitting with your legs crossed, if you want to sit with your legs out, if you want to sit in your chair, whatever, totally fine as long as you're comfortable. So we're going to start today with some alternate nostril breathing. We've done this before. So what you're going to do is you're going to take, I like to use my thumb and my index finger, and I, for some reason, like to use my left hand, but it is totally up to you. So you're going to take your thumb or your whichever finger you prefer and block, I'm going to say your left nostril to start, and then inhale through the opposite side. So close your mouth, inhale through the other nostril. So switch so that the other nostril is blocked. Exhale, and then staying on the same side, inhale, switch, exhale. So just to recap, you are inhaling through one side, switching which side is blocked, exhaling through the other side, inhaling, switch, exhale. So you're always switching at the top of the breath. So again, if you inhale through the right, you'll switch, exhale through the left, inhale through the left, switch, exhale through the right, inhale through the right, switch, so on and so forth. So we're going to do this for 2 minutes. Try to sit up comfortably. Try to breathe deeply into your belly for these. So feel free to slow your breath down. Feel free to really relax right now. This may make you feel energized. This might make you feel a little tired. Just see how your body feels, and just let the feelings happen and notice them, and then we'll get started with our workout. So as you're ready, whichever nostril you'd like to start on, and we're going to do 2 minutes. And go. All right. So just notice how you're feeling in your body. Like I said, you might feel energized, you might feel a little sleepy. Either way, just notice, take it for what it is, and we're going to start our warm-up today. So we're going to start with either walkouts, or you can kind of come into a forward fold. So if you don't feel comfortable walking your hands out and walking them back, you can also just bring your hands to the floor in a forward fold, and then come all the way up and all the way back down. So notice that I'm giving myself a nice bend in the knees. So if you have tight hamstrings, it gives you a little bit more leeway. So if you don't want to do a forward fold to just coming up, reaching above, you can walk out into a plank position. And then all the way back, stand up nice and tall. So either one, we're going to do set of 5. So either forward fold to overhead, or 5 walkouts. And with those walkouts, you can also bend your knees if you feel like you need a little bit less tension in your hamstrings. So on this last one, we're going to come down to a tabletop position. So on our hands and knees, knees are under your hips, hands are under your shoulders. You're going to, you can switch where you're inhaling and exhaling, but you want to time this movement to your breath. So I personally am going to inhale, drop my chest toward the ground, look forward. Exhale, pull my spine towards the ceiling, chin to chest, and then switch. You can also flip that. So inhale and exhale. We're going to do a set of 5 of these following your breath, so nice and slow. Perfect. So go ahead and take your hands, and you can walk them out a little bit further in front of you, and then sit back. You might get a nice lat stretch, so you can kind of modify this. It's a little bit like child's pose, but try to get a little bit of a stretch in the back, under the arms. Take a few deep breaths. And go ahead and flip on over to your back. So feet are going to be hip width apart, shoulders tucked. So we're going to engage our core. So we're pulling our belly button towards our spine, bringing the hips up, holding for 2 seconds, and back down. So we're squeezing our glutes and hamstrings each rep, and we're doing a set of 12. So coming up and back down. Good. So staying on your back, you can extend one leg out, and then you can pull that knee to chest on whichever leg you kept in. Take a few deep breaths. And then you can shift that leg across if you want. Keep that other arm on the ground. A few deep breaths. and back. So switch which leg. So hugging the other knee in. A few deep breaths. Bring that knee across. You may have just heard my spine crack. It's all good. Beautiful. So go ahead and come back to that tabletop position. So we're going to do a set of 6 bird dogs per side. So you're going to engage your core. You have a nice neutral spine, neutral neck. Extend opposite arm, opposite leg, and come back to center. So you can inhale when you extend, exhale when you squeeze your core to bring your arm back in. So alternating sides for 6 per side. Perfect. All right. So go ahead and come to a standing position. We're going to stand with our feet at least hip width apart. So coming into a deep squat, you can either grab your toes or you can just bring your elbows to the insides of your knees and push out. So hands wherever is comfortable. It's okay if you're not sitting as low into your squat as I am. Find what works with your body and just go where you're comfortable. So we're going to hang out here for a few seconds, and then we're going to come up into a hamstring stretch. It's okay if you need to bend your knees a little bit. And then back into that deep squat stretch. And back up to the hamstring stretch. And into that squat stretch. Perfect. So go ahead and stand all the way up. You can fold yourself up as quickly or as slowly as you want, and then reach for the ceiling. And then I'm going to adjust the camera so you can actually see me. We're going to do some arm circles. So arms at your side, forward, starting nice and small, tiny little circles. And then getting bigger. Nice big circles. And then switch directions. So start small, going in reverse. Getting bigger. All right. So that is your warm-up for today. So feel free to stretch anything else you need. We're going to do like we have the last few classes, where I will demonstrate each movement, and then we will do it rather than doing me demonstrating all 4 movements in a circuit at one time. So I'll show you the movement. We will do that for whatever amount of time, and then we'll move on to the next movement. So grab a sip of water if you need it. We are going to get started in just a second. So first thing we are doing for circuit 1 is YTAs. So YTAs, you're going to lay on your stomach. Head can rest on the ground. The rest of your body really doesn't move. You're just moving your arms. So you're starting with your arms in a Y position, coming up, squeezing the shoulders, back to the floor. Shifting to a T position, coming up, squeezing the shoulders, back to the floor. Coming to an A position, up, back to the ground. So again, it's Y, T, A. So if it feels like you have no range of motion on the floor, you can try taking a couch cushion or something similar, putting it on your chest. So then you're coming up like this. Instead, gives you a little more room to work with. Or you can use a yoga ball if you have one. So we're going to start with 45 seconds of YTAs for circuit 1. So let me set the clock. Hi, buddy. All right. So we have a 10-second countdown, and then we are doing some YTAs. So 10 seconds. And go. Great job. So second thing in circuit 1 is going to be a plank with rotation. So if you aren't able to do a regular plank for a 30-second hold, I would say start with just doing a static hold. And so you can do that by either starting in a kneeling plank like this, or you can do full extension on your hands or your elbows. You want to make sure that you're keeping your core engaged and you're not letting your low back arch. So if you can do a plank for 30 seconds, you can try adding in rotation. So this is going to be a 45-second plank with rotation this time. So don't feel like you have to do it the motion the whole time. You can just do it for part. So you can either do this on your forearms or on your hands. And ideally, you want to be able to be in a full plank. So if you're here, you're rotating like this. And see how I'm pivoting on my feet each time. You can also do it on your hands. So you want to keep your fingers wide and keep pressure in your fingertips. Shift, turn your feet, come back to center, shift, turn your feet, come back to center. So either of those is cool, or you can just hold a static plank. You're not being a very good assistant right now. Go lay down. Go relax. Go. Go. All right. So 10-second countdown. And then we are starting with a plank with rotation or a plank hold. And go. Great job. So third part of circuit 1 is going to be either single leg lowers to the bench or the chair, or step ups. So this is where your bench or chair is going to come in handy. So if you are doing step ups, you're going to alternate legs, stepping up onto the chair or object, like so, trying to drive from the leg that is on the chair instead of just launching yourself with the other leg. So you can adjust the height. If this height is too much for you, start with maybe just a step. So something lower than that. The second option for this round is single leg lowers. So for those, you are balancing. We're going to alternate legs still, engaging the core, bringing one leg out, and then slowly lowering ourselves down with control, and then maybe standing up with both feet, or if you've done these before and you feel like you can do it, you can also do single leg lowering and standing. So also standing up with just one leg. So either step ups or the single leg lowering is totally fine. And we're going to do a 10-second countdown. And go. Remember to alternate legs. Great job. So last but not least for this round, you can either do any push-up variation you want. Just remember, elbows stay at 45 degrees. So that can be incline push-up on a bench or a chair, incline push-up on a wall, kneeling push-up on the floor, or regular push-ups. Remember, you're pushing from your chest, keeping your core engaged, and also making sure you want your shoulders to stay down and away from your ears. You don't want your shoulders up here. Or you can do pike push-ups. So for these, you are going to get into a position pretty similar to downward dog, but you're going to be more on your toes. And you are going to look towards your feet. So try to make it so that your spine is neutral and you're almost like looking back at your legs. And you're going to lower the top of your head towards the ground, press back up through your shoulders, and repeat. So any variation is fine. You can do regular push-ups or you can do pike push-ups. So 10-second countdown. And go. Great job. So go ahead and grab some water. And we're going to repeat that whole round here in just a second. Hi, buddy. All right. So a few more seconds of rest here. Now this time, going through these movements, we are not going to stop each time. We've already kind of covered the form. So we are just going to go straight through them. So looks like Amy is ready to begin, which means, I guess it's time. So we're going to start with some YTAs. So, come on, buddy, you gotta move. Here, come on, let's go ahead. Over here. Over there. There you go. All right, so 10-second countdown. And go. All right. So next up we have the planks with rotation. So remember, you can also do a static plank here, 10-second countdown. And go. Great job. And then next up, we have single leg lowers or single leg step ups, alternating. It is up to you. So 10-second countdown. Great job. So last but not least, you have piped or regular push-ups. So whichever variation, if you want to switch it up this time, you can. I personally am going to switch it up. So whichever variation you want, 45 seconds, 10-second countdown, and go. Great job. So grab some water, and we are about to start circuit 2. So this will be 4 new exercises. I'm going to show you each one as we go. So the first thing we are doing is going to be sumo squats or lateral lunges. So grab a sip of water, and then we will start circuit 2. Feel free to comment on Andy's class participation. I think he's doing pretty well. He's not really sure why he's in here right now, but he seems very engaged, which is great. Mostly in sniffing, but whatever. All right, so head on back to your workout area, or at least make sure you can see the screen wherever you are. So we are going to start with either lateral lunges or sumo squats. So sumo squats, nice wide squat stance, maybe pointing the toes out just a little bit, sitting deep into that squat, coming up. So just like so. If you don't like sumo squats, You can also do lateral lunges. Lateral lunges you can do either staying in this basically same stance, shifting over, coming back, shifting over, coming back, or you can do where you are stepping out, coming back, stepping out, coming back. But if you are doing a lateral lunge, you want to alternate sides regardless, just because we're only doing one interval. So we'll start with that. If you are worried about falling with the sumo squats, you can still put a chair behind you, like so. So nice wide stance, squatting to that chair, coming back. Totally up to you. So again, find what works for your body, and we will start in 10 seconds of these. And go. Great job. So second up in circuit 2 is super people. So super similar to how we started the YTAs, except we are going to be instead lifting our arms and legs. So, and our chest a little bit too. So laying on your stomach, arms extended. You're going to inhale, come up, exhale, back down. So again, inhale, come up, exhale, back down. If for some reason your hands overhead bothers you, you can also bring your hands behind you, or you can do a cobra variation with your palms on the floor, still lifting by squeezing your glutes and low back. So 10-second countdown. And go. Great job. So next up, you need a space on the wall. We're going to do a wall sit. So I am going to move my yoga mat for this, but it's up to you. So for wall sit, you are creating 90-degree angle at your knees, 90-degree angle at your hips, pressing into that wall, keeping the core engaged. So if you can't do a full 45 seconds, no worries at all. Do 15 seconds, take a break. Do 10 seconds, take a break, whatever works for you. So I'm going to call out time every 15 seconds for the duration of 45 seconds. So 10-second countdown. And go. Fifteen seconds. Thirty seconds. So last but not least in this circuit, look out, buddy. Look out. Go ahead. Go to your mat. Hey. Okay, we can sit right there. That's fine. So last but not least in this circuit, we're going to do some crunches. Since 80 has stolen part of my mat, I'm going to show crunches over here. So knees bent or up, doesn't matter to me. You are keeping that core engaged. You are engaging your core to come up and back down. So notice I'm not pulling on the back of my head. I'm just letting my neck stay neutral with my body and engaging my core to come up. So we're going to do 45 seconds of crunches, whatever variation you want, and 10-second countdown. Excuse me, you have to share the mat. 3, 2, 1, and go. Great job. So grab some water. I see we have some 80 fans in the comments. 80, you have a following. You hear that? You're popular. All right, so one more round through circuit 2, and then we have 2 extras, and then you're done for today. So grab a sip of water, and we will get things moving here in just a few. And maybe you'll actually end class on time today. Maybe. No guarantees. All right. So a few more seconds. Remember, you're starting with either lateral lunges or sumo squats for your first movement, whichever you prefer. So give everyone a 10-second countdown here. What do you want to say? And go. Great job. So next up we have super people. 10-second countdown. And then we are doing some super people. Great job. So head on over to your wall. We have our wall sit. Remember, I'm going to call out time every 15 seconds here. So 10-second countdown. And go. Fifteen seconds. Thirty seconds. And rest. So last but not least, we're gonna do some crunches, and we have 2 more exercises and you're done for today. So any variation of crunches you'd like, 10-second countdown. And go. All right. So you can stay on your mat. Our last 2 exercises today are both on our mat. So first things first, we're going to do some dead bugs. So dead bugs, we're also going to edit this to be slightly shorter. Great. All right. So dead bugs, you are laying on your back, arms and legs up. You can start with opposite hand to opposite knee. Extend the other leg down, switch, extend, down, extend. So you want to keep that core engaged so that your low back isn't arching off the ground. If you feel like the coordination of doing opposite arm, opposite leg isn't working for you, you can also just have your hands at your side or on your core and just tap your toes to the ground like so. So 10-second countdown. We're just doing 30 seconds here. You got this. 2 more things and you're done for today. And go. Great work. And last but not least, we're going to do a Russian twist. And you can either keep your feet on the ground or lift them up. You are leaning back slightly and rotating side to side. If you want to make this a little bit harder, you can extend your hands out and pretend you're holding an invisible ball. So last thing of the day, 30 seconds. Remember, you can either have heels on the ground or lifted, and you are just leaning back far enough to feel that core engaged, and then rotating side to side for 30 seconds. Ready? 10-second countdown. And go. And that is all for today. So thank you all for coming to Movement Mondays. As I said, I'm Alex Weaver. This is AD Waffles Weaver, who was a wonderful assistant coach today, though I don't think he knew what was happening for most of the class. So thank you all for coming to this class. Thank you to Thundermist for sponsoring this class. This class happens every Monday, 6 p.m. Right here. So thanks for joining me, and hope to see you all again next week. As always, if you have any questions, comments, feedback, whatever, feel free to drop it in the comments, and I will see you next week. Thanks, y'all.